Hey guys, welcome back. Just when we think people can't get into more legal trouble with Pokemon, this guy is using relief funds, or used relief funds, it seems, to buy a Pokemon card. I don't know what to say. This might outdo everything else, and it's going to put it up maybe in one of the worst turnouts for someone in terms of legal repercussions when dealing with Pokemon. It seems that the money into the hobby has created nothing but disaster in this regard. So let's read through the article. It's pretty much the same article on a few sites. So here we have it. Prosecutors. Double man used Cove loan on $57,000 Pokemon card. So I don't know. I'd really like to know what that card is. If anyone knows. Or even what the business is. It might make a little bit more sense if it's a card shop. But, I mean, if the funds are supposed to be allocated to staff, then I guess it's not really excusable regardless. So here we go. Prosecutors say Vinith Odomsine, I think that's how you pronounce it, was supposed to use $85,000 in Cove relief funds to save jobs, but spent most of it on a $57,000 Pokemon card instead. So here we go. Editor's note. The photo shows different Pokemon cards, not the unnamed one mentioned in the story. Thanks for that. It was like a mystery card. It was just going to show the back of it. I guess if they have to use an image on the site, then it's better to use a picture of Pokemon cards rather than nothing. So here we go. Federal prosecutors say a Dublin man was supposed to use $85,000 in COVID relief funds to save jobs. So there's many programs like this, largely to do with being able to afford staff and not necessarily to purchase trading cards. So at first I thought maybe this was a fake story because I saw the Dublin and then I saw Georgia in different titles, but it's Dublin, Georgia, not Dublin. Instead, they say he spent most of it on a $57,000 Pokemon card. A document filed this week in Dublin's federal court accuses Vinith Odomsine of wire fraud. So I'm not a lawyer. I'm not sure how this ends up being wire fraud and not some other charge, but that's apparently what it is. It does not describe Odomsine's business, but it says he falsely applied last year for a federal economic injury disaster loan, EIDL. So I don't know, maybe it's just not even a business at all. Those federally backed small business administration loans are aimed at helping businesses survive the Cove panny. Business owners could use the money for payroll, production costs, debts, rents, mortgage payments, and more. So I guess if it's outside of the purchase is outside of what it's allowed to be used for, I guess it's not really an emergency to, if you want to even consider it as a like an inventory purchase, which I guess it depends. In July 2020, the court document says Odomsine applied for a EIDL loan. His application says he'd owned a business since 2018, that he had 10 employees, and their revenues for the past year totaled $235,000. So that right away doesn't sound like a card shop. But, all right. That was false, prosecutors say, and instead of supporting a business, Odomsine spent $57,789 on a Pokemon card. Very nice. Must be a nice one. I have a hard time believing that it isn't some sort of Charizard, graded Charizard. But I don't know. We'll maybe we'll find out someday. The document doesn't describe the card, unfortunately. Earlier this year, the federal government estimated that the SBA approved at least 3,000 EIDL loans to people who were ineligible. For example, businesses that don't exist. I can see that happening. That's less than 1/10 of 1% of the $224 billion loan program. Odamsin faces up to 20 years in federal prison and up to $250,000 in fines. That sucks. So again, in the we're gonna compete with the Sword and Shield guidebook leakers in terms of the total fine. I mean, if it's up to 250,000, it's probably not going to be 250,000, but we'll see. I don't know if the actual verdict, if anyone knows more about that, how the information is released, or if it will ever be released. I'd love to hear it, and it'd also be cool to know what he bought, if he was like flexing it beforehand. When contacted on Thursday, he referred questions to his attorneys, who did not return our phone call. Not surprising. Barry Paschal, the spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Savannah, says prosecutors can't release any further information on the case. So I don't know if that's a forever can't release any more info, or maybe once the verdict is made, that we'll be able to find out more. Very hard to say. So we can look through the other articles here, just in case there's any information that's missing. So here we have it again. This is quoting the other one that we just looked at. Absolutely insane. And then they go into talking about how the 10 Charizard here, the SGC 10 Charizard sold for $220,000 to Logic, which is not really relevant, I guess, other than if it's trying to appease some normies or give them some context on exactly what's going on, why the market is so crazy, and why someone might do some sketchy stuff, like get a relief loan and spend it on a Pokemon card. But here we go, and then we have WFTV 9, an article here, which is very similar, talking about where Dublin is, which I don't know if that's totally relevant, especially if you didn't have a store or anything like that it was purchased for or through. And more on the big boy, Charizard. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully we get some more information on this. It's kind of interesting. And hopefully somebody learns from this. It seems like every time I post a video that's along these lines, I have people in the comments that are defending illegal actions, which is wild. I also had an ad. I don't know which one it was on, but it was funny that there was the next article underneath was talking about illegal gambling. Shout out to Eater and the boys with their Razzle McDaz. So maybe that'll be the next article that we see on the news here, cracking down on Razzle McDazzles in the Pokemon online community. I guess, I mean, probably the same thing in sports or anything like that, anything collectibles. Pops. I saw recently that the price of pop figures was going up, so inflation is getting bad when they got to charge more for ugly little pop figures. No offense to anyone that likes them, but they're really not my thing. I don't know. I don't see the appeal. It's basically a plastic beanie baby, in my opinion. All right, guys, take care. See you next time.